These are the Cardinals, who are just leaving the funeral mass now. There are more than 240 of them. They are not all eligible to vote in the conclave. That's just going to be about 135, as you have to be under the age of 80, correct. And Monsignor, you have talked about one, I think, of the legacies of Pope Francis is the number of bishops and cardinals that he elevated, and how that has changed the outreach of the church into places the church has never had leadership before.
It has been quite extraordinary. Pope Francis, in 12 years, has called 10 consistories. So he's made cardinals on 10 different occasions, 163 cardinals. That is quite amazing. 80% of those cardinals, 108 of them, will be eligible to vote. So it's quite likely that the push will be for the legacy of Pope Francis to continue. It's also fascinating that there's been a shift from a Eurocentric college of cardinals to one that is more Latin American. It's gone up by that percentage, more African and much more Asian.
I was looking at those numbers. 17% of the cardinals that will vote in the conclave are from Asia.
Yeah, and of course, in that sense, it represents the reality of the Catholic Church at the ground. I mean, of those 1.3 billion Catholics in the world today, almost 3/4, more than 800 million, live outside the West. They live in Africa and Asia and Latin America and the Pacific Islands and points beyond. And in that sense, Pope Francis made the top of the church look a great deal more like the bottom of the church.
What does that mean, John, for the composition of the church in terms of the way that the faith is practiced in those locations now that it has a greater influence on the larger church?
Well, Catholicism is a staggeringly diverse global family of faith. I mean, there are, of course, certain things that are in common. The Catholic Mass that we just witnessed, you can go to Zaire and you can go to Jakarta and you can go to Manila. And the Mass is essentially the same, but the way in which the faith is expressed and articulated will be wildly different. And this is one point that I always like to remind Americans as they think about things like this. Of those 1.3 billion Catholics in the world, 67 million of them are in the United States, which means that American Catholics are 6% of the global Catholic population, or put another way, 94% of the Catholics in the world aren't Americans. So if you think the American Catholic Church ought to be the bellwether of Catholic realities everywhere, that's just not reality.